Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video. So today I have another renovation video. So about, I think now like 2 or so months ago, I think it was in March, I did a renovation of a build in Willow Creek, which was Creek Cabana, and that was for my save file. And this one is for my save file as well. And in that video, I was like saying like, oh, you guys might see more builds from me, and then you got like nothing. So yeah, I guess I'm really up in the air when it comes to things and what I'm in the mood for. But about a week and a half ago, I started working on this build, and which was weird because I feel like I just started working on this and it's already been a week and a half. But I finally have finished it. I took quite a while actually working on this. Usually when I work on a build, I'm able to finish it within that day. But this one I took, I think, 2 days to work on. But in total, I think it was like 3.5 hours or so, which I was surprised about. I guess I shouldn't be, because I added a little bit more details when it came to decorating, cluttering a little bit more, because this specific house I have decided is going to be a house for roommates. So there's actually going to be 3 Sims living here. I haven't actually made them yet. In my save file right now I have a random Sim living here that I've made, but I don't think I'm going to actually have her stay here. I'm just probably going to either move her out or just get her out completely from my save file. I haven't decided yet, but I kind of, while I was building this, I was coming up with a storyline in my head, which I feel like makes the house have a little bit more character when you have a story in mind for the Sims, which is kind of what I want to work towards when I'm making my save file, so that the house is more so oriented for the Sims that are living here, you know what I mean? So we have one girl who is into gardening, she loves to read, and she's gonna have a pet cat, so I guess 4 roommates, because the cat kind of counts as a 4th Sim, right? And then we have another roommate who is gonna be this fashion photographer, and she has a boyfriend who just came out of law school and is going to be a lawyer, so he's working towards that. And they have like this, what seems like a perfect relationship, but because they've been working so much and they haven't really had much time for each other, they just don't really do much anymore together. They don't really go out on dates or anything. So the relationship has a little bit of tension there, because prior to graduating from college, they spent a lot of time together. Obviously they were studying and everything like that, but they still made time for each other and, you know, had these special moments and all that. But as things have gone on, they started to butt heads a little bit more. And so since, you know, they have the bookworm roommate, she's been seeing that, and that sees that the relationship really isn't doing too well, because when they initially moved in, like, they were so happy and everything, because the bookworm roommate lived here first, and then she was looking for roommates, and they came along and took up the other extra room. So they've been here for a little while, and she's been watching the decline of their relationship throughout the time of them being here. And the fashion photographer girlfriend is very hot-headed, so she kind of explodes at the lawyer boyfriend a lot, and so he starts to feel a little bit low. And he's only recently started, you know, confiding in the bookworm roommate, because prior he never really like acknowledged her all that much. You know, they'd say hi and here and there, but they never really talked. They were just like roommates. They weren't like friends, but they started to get to know each other a little bit better, and they've gotten to talking, and he's been able to confide in her, and they just kind of understand each other. They have some similar interests. They both love reading, and they've bonded over that. And so now comes the point of, will the lawyer and the fashion photographer be able to mend their relationship, or will a new relationship arise with the bookworm Sim? Because when they moved here, they were like thinking this is going to be a temporary space before they find their own place, after they make some money from work, and then they can, you know, move out and get married, because he thought after they graduate from university, he'll, you know, propose. But things have kind of changed since moving here, and yeah, so now it's a matter of, will the plan keep going forward, or will things change? So I'm kind of excited. It makes me want to play with them, I'm not gonna lie, even though they don't even exist yet. I haven't made them, but I can kind of already picture how they are. Like, I just feel like the bookworm Sim is very like innocent, and she reads these romance novels, and she kind of has like a picture of like what she would love to see as like a perfect relationship. And, you know, she just loved watching the lawyer, and soon to be lawyer I should be saying, but soon to be lawyer, and the fashion photographer from afar, and like admiring the relationship and stuff. But, you know, she's kind of noticing that not everything in a relationship is perfect. So it does feel like a very extra storyline for a save file house, but I don't know, I was kind of feeling very imaginative, and I don't know, I wanted to have something different. And I don't know if I'm gonna be going this extra with the other houses, we'll see, but that is this household right now. But it makes it kind of more interesting, and maybe you'd want to like jump in and play with them. So yeah, maybe one day I'll actually make them. I need to remember the storyline for when it comes to me making them. I'm not gonna lie, this would sound like a really good book. I'm sure that somewhere out there there's a book that has a similar scenario, maybe not exactly, but like that whole situation going on. Oh my god, I would love to read a romance novel like that. If anybody happens to know and is like reads a lot and, you know, is into romance and has read a book like this that has similar, you know, storyline, please let me know. I would so devour that. Especially now because I've been reading a lot more again, and April I didn't read a single book. Like, I hit my reading slump. I read Verity by Colleen Hoover, and that, like, I was like, oh yeah, like I'll go read the second book in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder like right after. Like, I was like, I'll take a couple days off because the ending of Verity just like hit me, and apparently it hit me for a whole month because I didn't start reading again until the beginning of May. And May has already been a good reading month. I've already read 5 books, I think it's been, and I have books 6 and 7 that I'm currently reading. One's a physical, one's on a Kindle, which I never thought I'd actually get, but I was watching some booktubers and they were like, I love my Kindle, and I'm like, what, I love a Kindle? And I guess I love my Kindle now because, you know, there's some decent free books on Kindle Unlimited, and since I have a free 3-month subscription, I mean, I might as well use it and read the books that, you know, I've been either wanting to read or sound appealing. But don't get me wrong, I still love my physical books, and I think I'm still gonna be more of a physical book reader as opposed to a Kindle reader. I think at the moment it's just very convenient for me, and I've already been able to read 3 books, and that was like in only like 3 days, I think it's been, and I've only had the Kindle for I think 4 or 5, maybe not even 5, 4 probably. So I've been pretty quick with reading, so it's been fun though, so I'm not complaining, especially since it's gotten me back into reading a lot more. I mean, I started reading back up last year. I've read 7 books last year. I'm already on 20 books this year, and I mean, prior to that, I didn't read for like 8, 9, or 10 years even, maybe. I'm not actually entirely sure, because last time I remember reading, it was like when I was reading Pretty Little Liars and reading the Hunger Games books like right before the movie came out. Like, I remember when everybody in school was like reading those books like on their free periods, and you would just see people walking around with the Hunger Games books. So it was like a moment, and I missed that because it was such like, everybody was like into it. And I think that was during the time that dystopian books were like really popular, because I know like Maze Runner was a thing, and Divergent. I read a little bit of Divergent as well. I only finished the second book last year, even though I started it like years ago, because I was like halfway through. I was like, I might as well finish it, right? So, because I read Divergent like around that time when Hunger Games was out. I mean, it's been nice being able to get into reading, and if there's anybody who's watching this video and has wanted to get into reading, I think it's a matter of finding a book that will interest you, and a genre as well. I mean, you don't have to like go into reading and be like, oh my god, I have to read this whole book within a certain amount of time. You can take as long as you want. Like, you can read like a chapter a night or a chapter a day or even a few pages a day or something like that, because it's just like, there's no like, you don't have to rush to read. Like, you read at your own pace, you know what I mean? I mean, I had a book that I was reading over the course of from 2011 or from 2012 until last year when I finished it. So, you know, it took me a while, and it's funny because like I still kind of remember the book, even though I read it maybe like a chapter a year, if that even. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of fun to like delve yourself into a world like that. And I'm sorry I'm rambling about reading. I talked about reading at the beginning of the year, I think in like January, and here we are in May, but this is like an update, I guess. So yeah, I didn't even mean to like get into all this, but let me talk about the build for a little bit before I get onto another tangent, because that'll probably happen. So I really love how the build turned out, especially the living room and kitchen area. Like, I spent so long on it. Like, at first I was doing that whole angled thing with the TV, and it just wasn't feeling it, because like I never really do that in builds, and I was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll try something different. It just wasn't working out, and so I completely ended up scratching that, and you guys saw what I did. I felt like I spent quite a bit of time in there. I really like, you know, the color scheme going on there, and it's just, I think it just feels really homey in a way. You guys already know, like, I like to clutter, but I still think that I'm nowhere near where I want to be when it comes to it, because I think what I really want to work towards is making the spaces feel like they have more personality. And I think it just depends on the build that I'm working on. Like this one in particular, like you guys already heard the backstory for the household, so it makes sense like that I want to make it more lived in and stuff like that. So now we're working on the bookworm gardener's bedroom, and I wanted it to be very different compared to the other bedroom you guys will be seeing in a little bit, because they're very opposite Sims, right? And I feel like she's very much, again, she's into reading, so I gave her like, you know, the cube storage, and you know, I wanted to make it a more colorful room as well, because I feel like the other Sims appear more mature and serious, so it's gonna be a very different type of atmosphere in their room, which is what I wanted to go for. And the kitchen and like everything, I feel like is a very like neutral, like it's not like very overly bright, but you can see like there's a pink pot on the stove, which is the bookworm Sims. I don't have names for them, so I'm sorry. Like I keep saying bookworm and lawyer and fashion photographer. I just don't have names for them because I haven't made them yet. If I did, I'd probably be calling them by their names, but and I wanted to make sure I included plants and stuff because of course she likes gardening. So I wanted to kind of do a thing where, you know how like if you have like LED strip lights or something like that, and like the colors like beaming through, like I know people do that around their cube storage, which is something I really want to do around mine as well. And it makes it like so that it's glowing pink from the back, but it just wasn't giving that same effect, so I had to tone it down a little bit. I still wanted to include some more color because I feel like she would want to like play with more with color in her room and stuff. And since, you know, she is a cat owner, she obviously has that stuff in there. And so now with this bedroom, it's definitely a mature color scheme. You know, we have like the dark woods and like the, I think that's like greenish, right? And so I wanted to also include the stuff that, you know, they're interested in. So on one nightstand we have books, and there's gonna be like papers and everything that's regarding like, you know, him becoming a lawyer and all that stuff. And then on the other one is more of the fashion photographer side. And I also put a camera in the room. Don't be weird, they're not doing, I mean, they could be doing some things there. I mean, I don't know how freaky these Sims are. I mean, maybe they are, you know, doing things with the camera that's going to be in there, but there's a tripod in that bedroom because, you know, that's where she's like storing her camera. And I don't know, I really just like this space. I'm not gonna lie, like this is definitely one of my favorite renovations. I didn't even expect to be able to do this much within this build itself, but because like compared to my last one, it was a very small house, and I still like how that one turned out, but this one just feels so different to me. I think maybe because it has a little bit more character, and like there is a story that follows this lot, you know what I mean? This is actually my second time doing the voiceover, or at least half of the voiceover, because before I literally was rambling so much about me and everything that I've been dealing with the past, you know, few months and stuff. But I was like, girl, be quiet. Like, like it was too much. I feel like I'm giving you my whole life story. And so I didn't even talk about the build at all throughout the video. So I wanted to like, you know, give a little bit of both, you know, what I'm interested in. Maybe I'll cover those other topics in another video or something like that. But yeah, so I am also working on 2 other builds. I have the pancakes renovation that I started working on, I think it was in March, and I haven't finished it since. So I want to get that done. And then I also started working on a house build during the same time that I was doing the renovation for this specific build that we're looking at, and I want to get that one done. I was using a reference photo for that house, and the way I started building it was like no build I've really ever done before, because since I'm trying to like copy how the exterior is, I was having a hard time. But I'm hoping that house comes out really good, and then I can like share it with you guys, because I'm trying to go for a little bit more of a realistic approach, but we'll see how it turns out, if it'll be how I want it to be. I want to get into doing a little bit more building, and I said that last time, so maybe because maybe I jinxed myself, because I was like, oh yeah, I want to do more building, and then I didn't. So we'll see. But I would like to. That's the thing, as I would like to do more, because I just have fun doing it, you know? And like, especially this one, I just think I need to think about stories when I come into building, because it just adds so much to it, I think. But yeah, that is pretty much it, I think. I don't think there's anything else I need to mention. Oh yeah, the bathroom is kind of quirky. Like, it's not like I don't know, I just feel like it's very weird, but I kind of like that it is. I don't know, like, it's it's like it has everything it needs, but it's just the layout is kind of interesting. But also, I think what I will do when I do like put the Sims in here is like, since we have the fashion photographer, I'll probably like put her stuff, you know, her photos around the house or something like that, so that it's like, you know, it makes sense. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll try and get it up on the gallery as soon as possible. I just gotta make sure it's functional and everything like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys in a new video very soon. Bye, guys.